See if anybody jumps in here on this live. But I'm going to tell you, this has been a little stressful lately. And let's even see if I did this right. All right, guess I did do it right. What's up, David? Trucker Trader Sam, we're going to get into what's going on, man. It's been an eventful couple months, let me tell you. Hey, I got to get it in where I can get it in because it's not like I'm going to be able to do it when I'm out there on the road. So, trying to fill up now. Yep. So anyway, kind of what's going on, man. And women. So I got two trucks down. I got my truck down that I was driving, my 21 Peterbilt that's out here in Peterbilt in Denver, and then I have one down in Pooler, Georgia. So basically Savannah, Georgia. So this could be lucky, and I really thought about this. I needed a DOT inspection on my. What's up, Kiersey? I needed a DOT inspection on my 21 Peterbilt, right? And normally I get those done at Peterbilt dealerships. I try to get anything I can done at just Peterbilt dealerships. But things have been a little bit tight lately, so I'm like, you know what? I got to stay rolling, so let me just go ahead and get this done at a terminal. So, long story short, I had about 20 days to get my DOT inspection done. So, I first tried to do it in Pittston. So, I booked getting a DOT inspection done. And I forgot what else it was. Something small. But oh, that's right. So, in the meantime, I needed new batteries. So, they couldn't do the batteries and the DOT inspection. So I said, do the batteries. I'll get the DOT inspection done somewhere else. So they did that. I left Pittston, got a load, ended up in that Chicago area. Let's see. Trucker Trader Sam will hit you up later today about some traders. All right. So anyway, ended up down in Manuka. So I went there to get the DOT inspection. The guy says he came up with a few things that need to get done to pass the inspection. But then he came up with like this oil pan seal or something that he couldn't do. It had to go to Peterbilt. So I trust Peterbilt's warranty. I do not trust any extra shit Prime puts on it. So when I started looking at it, I was like, let me get this truck into a Peterbilt shop before it hits 500,000 miles. So I got a load, ended up out in Denver, put my truck in Peterbilt with like 492,000 miles on it. I didn't tell him what Manuka said about the DOT inspection. Just told him I needed a DOT inspection. So they started working on it, came up with the oil pan thing. But they came back also with this cam thing or something like that. They're talking about it's going to need a new engine. So I personally it's been driving fine, no check engine lights, none of that kind of stuff. Fuel economy has been a little bit lower than my other trucks, but it is the 21 Peterbilt, so fuel economy isn't that good on those. So I really wasn't really thinking about that all that much, but that's what they're saying on that truck. So, now I'm not 100, they say it's under warranty, first of all. Now I've also gone to this dealership before with my first Peterbilt before I did a lease purchase, and they said that it needed an engine, and they were like, "Oh, we were talking about the wrong truck." So maybe that's the case on this, but as of right now, that's what they're saying, needs a new engine. So that'd be good, you know. They're saying it's under warranty. If it's not, if for some reason it wasn't under warranty and it was like, super expensive, I just, sell the truck for parts or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on that one. The one in Georgia, almost anybody that's been driving Peterbilts right now has been having some of these injector issues, stuff like that. I think that's what the majority of that problem is out there. So my driver that was driving that truck, she was going to be leaving Prime around the 18th or anyway this month. So once the truck got in there and I knew it was going to be a while, I just said, you know what, if you're leaving anyway, you might as well just go ahead and go now. I'll send you some money for a rental or whatever, and then you could just go. So I got to get out to Georgia. So I got to update on that truck. They're saying that truck should be done maybe tomorrow, which I don't really trust that stuff. I try to wait till they're done with it, but I don't want to waste too much time. The problem I'm coming up with is flights. So today is Tuesday. They're saying it might be done on Wednesday, but I ain't going to be ready to just roll out tomorrow. I'll get to some of these comments. So anyway, I'm not going to be able to just get out of here tomorrow. So that's going to leave Thursday, Friday. They're going to be closed Saturday, Sunday. So it doesn't make sense on those dates. Then the airfares start coming down Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there. What's up, Terry? So later on today, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going to book a flight, the cheapest flight, which will take me into early next week, but potentially be losing money for the days that I'm not driving? But it's going to be over the weekend out of Georgia, which has been a little kind of weak. So I don't know. That's what I'm dealing with. So that's just the business side. I've had a few drivers reach out because I will have an extra truck, wanting to drive for me. And I've really been thinking about this. And my thoughts are, one of the drivers, which would probably be the best of the bunch that had came to me, already drives for another driver. And in this market, I just would feel real uneasy taking a driver off of somebody else's fleet. Now, if it was a normal market, I probably wouldn't worry about it, especially since I'd be paying more and all that kind of stuff. But so I'm kind of hesitant on that. And then I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm wanting to shorten up everything anyway. And one of the reasons I did these lease purchases, so I'm not tied down. I'm probably thinking about just December, I'll have 2 of these trucks paid off, another truck paid off another year. I may just give that last one away or give that one back and then just have everything shortened up where I don't have to worry about all this stuff for another 2 years. So that's another thought, but that's the business side. From a personal side, we had some hail come through here. I think I spoke about this on my last video, but house got tore up, you know what I mean? So I've been dealing with insurance adjusters and stuff like that. My truck got hit as well. It already had hail damage on it. So I'm not going to mention that to them again, but so they came and looked at my truck the other day, so we'll see kind of what's going to happen on that. Misfit flatbedder, if I don't take the driver, someone else will. You know what? That could be the case too, but it's not necessarily. It's as soon as I say, okay, I'm going to just get another driver, that means that I'm going to have all these trucks going, right? That's going to put me out another 2 years it's going to put me out another 2 years as far as my vision goes. If I just make it to December, have 2 paid off trucks, and then one that'll be paid off in that next year, then everything gets shortened up. I just don't want to be having another 2 years, 2.5 years of stress. You know what I mean? So it's more that than it is anything else. Not, I mean, the drivers, both drivers, seem good. One is, everybody tells you this, but I mean, one was like, I don't ever go home. You know what I mean? I don't ever go home. I just run. I don't have any friends. And I'm like, man, that sounds very appealing. Yeah, and then that's another thing, Kiersey. She said Prime is now requiring a 30-day notice to switch fleets, which makes things harder, for everybody. Uh, just the way Prime has kind of been acting towards these small fleets, if you want to call them that. I hate calling them fleets. Really makes me feel like they're not standing behind it. So if they're not really standing behind it, I really don't want to get any deeper. As a matter of fact, I want to recoil, if anything. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. But what have I done since I got out here? You know what? I've had a chance to, fill back up again, so that's good. Uh, so I had a chance to drink some special bourbon, stuff like that. Went and got my sushi. My son took me out last night. Nowhere fancy. I just told him, you know what, you might want to take me out for living here for practically free. So he did that. We went out to what's that place? Over the border or some shit like that. Uh that's it. Been pretty uneventful. So let me see if I can scroll through these comments right quick. Jackson, Georgia. What's up? I like that. There's a few truck stops down that way I like hitting up. Trucker Trader Sam, I got my new second truck today in Missouri. After your videos, I was that second truck and last truck. I'm telling you, hey, uh, yeah. I mean, if everything's just smaller, I just don't see how some of these guys have the mental capability to kind of the mental bandwidth, you know, to kind of keep up with some of this stuff. You know what I mean? All right, so Terry's out of here. He's getting out of McDonough, Georgia. Uh, Earl's talking about the weather in Colorado. We've been kind of lucky out here, but yeah, that hail's been kind of tearing us up a little bit. I wish I would have had my truck out there. Hey, I mean my prime truck. Shoot, I need to be following natural disasters around in that truck because that's the only way you're getting any money for them trucks right now. They could. All right, let's see. Prime is now. All right, we already went over that. Sorry about your frustration. Been there, done that. You know, the only thing about this frustration is there's a end in sight. You know what I mean? So if I was dealing with this stuff and I couldn't say, here's where I'm getting some relief or something like that, then, it would be a little bit harder. But I just know all I got to do is make it to the, I mean, December is when everything, I mean, really, it could be now. If I really just said fuck everything, it could be now. But the best position is just December, and that sets me up, and then that gives me 1 year. Within that next year, everything is just gravy at that point. And then I'm able to do things for drivers that are driving for me that I'm already overpaying, but at that point it would allow me to do things that even above and beyond that. All right. I think keeping your powder dry, staying liquid is going to be very important over the next 18 months. Yep. And liquid, that is the thing. Being liquid and not having any bills, I mean, that's one thing that's going to save me. I don't have any car payments. None of our cars have loans on them. This house, the payment on it's $2,500, but I have another house that's paid off that brings in $1,500 a month rent. So actually almost $1,600. So if I had a bunch of bills or something like that, it would be very hard to kind of navigate through these times. Okay, Zach, would I recommend starting a mini fleet in the next few months? I probably wouldn't, but it really depends on what your goals are, Zach. My goal was this, and I don't know if you want to call it COVID or whatever. It got blown up because my thing was sort of like the way I looked at the rental market in houses is I don't need to price gouge anybody. My thing is to keep people in these houses as long as possible and let the increase in equity kind of be my payback down the road. So I was kind of taking that same approach. So my approach was, okay, I'll have these trucks, and then every year a truck will be paid off. I'll run that truck and then sell it and make some money, then keep kind of doing that. But the problem is these trucks aren't selling for shit right now. So that blows up my whole strategy as far as that goes. So it makes the payback a lot longer. So if you have a different plan, but what I don't think people realize is, and you could even look at it from some of the newer prime drivers, some of the struggles. It depends on where you get your drivers from. Kiersey did a video when she, about when she first came out on the road by herself, and she was out there, causing damage and stuff like that never hit her because she was a company driver. And a lot of the times what you're doing, unless you're lucky, and I've been pretty lucky as far as that goes, where most of my drivers had some experience and stuff like that. But if you're pulling from that pool of drivers coming out of TNT, I just got a call this morning, 4:30 in the morning, somebody calling me, telling me that they saw one of our drivers out there having issues getting into a dock that shouldn't even be a hard dock to get into, and what would be the advice that I'd give to them, or whatever, because whatever. If you're pulling from that pool of drivers, one mistake can destroy your entire profit for the year. So, and now, see, here's another thing. When I keep saying that my truck hasn't fell off that much as far as revenue goes, that's because I'm incentivized to do everything that it takes to not make mistakes. You know what I mean? Or be perfect. So, and what I mean by that, and I'm saying as perfect as I can be, there used to be a time back in the days where you used to have the luxury of getting tired. It used to be like where you'd be like, okay, you know what? Don't reload me until 6 p.m. or something like that. And you'd have a load at 6 or 7 p.m. Now, as soon as you say that, you're looking almost to the next day just to get a load. There was a time when you didn't have to try to find a receiver that would take a load early, but now it's like if you find that opportunity, you got to take it. So you're not, everything has to be smoother now to make some money on it, or even break even. So I don't think that now is the best time to do it. And a lot of it isn't just either the money or not the money. A lot of it is just, depending on how many trucks you have, you're getting calls like different times of the day and night about different kind of things that are going on. So you also have that to think about as well. All right, has it picked up with Prime yet? I left a few months ago. Like I was saying, John, I never really saw a dip in the. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not noticeable. But that's because I've been really having to just be like running a lot harder than I'd like to run and doing things that I normally wouldn't like to do. Uh, but I have heard us picking up stuff like that. Yeah, Kiersey's talking about she knocked the axle off her truck, major tow bill. Trust me, I just had a major tow bill that was something that wasn't anything I did that, was all it's. Listen, when you're talking about starting these fleets, any little thing that you think about, any, like, like I said, I had a driver that, and I've had a couple drivers that, uh, the tow bills were just like, one was just astronomical. One was a driver that made a mistake, and then she said, "You know what? I made the mistake. I'll pay for it." But then she was on the Denver yard later, which I appreciate that part. But then she was on the Denver yard, and it was just like flat out straight ice out there. She couldn't even move off the Denver yard, and they had to tow her out of the lot just to go deliver the load. And I think that was like $580. And I ended up paying for that one because I was like no fault or whatever. So I mean, it's little things like that that are gonna that eat away at you. You know what I mean? It could. I mean, I'm just trying to think of little things that have happened. Uh, but it's just it's things that you would never think about, and it's things like this. Okay, it's it. Let's say everything's running perfect. You're like, I've been out for 3 months or whatever like that. I'm gonna take a day off. Well, take some time off. Guess what? Guess what else? Somebody else is taking some time off right around the same time. Or you know what? It's not just one truck needing some shit. It's three trucks needing some shit. So you could go from you can add up $10,000 of expenses in a week fast. So, so I've been jealous of people that have had their truck paid off, that haven't had anything to worry about, anything like that. Just do their own thing, don't have to worry about. I mean, it's just that is some jealousy right there. And before I end this, Prime is making it extremely difficult for you to find drivers if that's what you want to do. So I wouldn't suggest it even on that alone. All right, so JJ's playing the waiting game on Walmart Dedicated. Yeah, I heard that pre-trip Walmart's doing is pretty serious. My boy Trucker Crespo went over there and did it, but those guys are out there. They will look at you backing into a dock at a Walmart store and then call you and tell you that you did a good job and got out and looked around before you backed in or whatever. It's like micromanagement to a degree that is pretty excessive. Now, I would take that over the cameras. Don't get me wrong. JJ says sales switched up the O1s and O2s. Seems like we go through ebbs and flows where there's like a month or two where sales is just like having a lot of issues with appointments and things like that. And from what I've been seeing and hearing, maybe this is that time. Think the camera tablet is draining my power. Truck towed. I don't know if that camera would use that much energy to drain your batteries, but I don't know. Another reason not to have them, I guess. All right, truck is in the shop right now because oil was getting into the coolant tank. Have no idea how much it's gonna cost. Prime shops like to nickel and dime you. See, that's one thing I did not see on my truck. So when they're telling me I need to get a new engine in that truck, the only thing I can see is, or the only thing that's been different about that truck is the fuel economy. I'm usually in, okay, so on my newer trucks, if you're driving those, like, even balls out, you're getting like 9.5, 9.75 on those 2002 and newer. At least, well, the ones I drove. So I've only drove three of the ones I got. Um, so the fuel economy is in the low eights right now on my truck. So that was a little bit, I thought about that a little bit. But as far as just no, maybe a small leak that wasn't even that noticeable, I would never worried about it. I'm not losing enough oil to really be adding much oil to it. So that was a surprise to me. No, I didn't see any oil getting. There were no visible signs that I could tell, and I don't know. I guess I'll wait to see what actually gets done on that truck. As far as prime shops nickeling and diming you when you go there, I kind of got that feeling a little bit. I kind of felt like I was pulling into a car dealership. One of the last times I went to Springfield, where they had the guy just sitting there waiting for you. Can I give you? I think he said, "All right, I'm going to give you a courtesy inspection." And I was like, "No, I don't need that." Because I just been hearing about people having that courtesy inspection. Next thing you know, they're finding a bunch of stuff, and I was not in that. I was not trying to do that. Uh, so I have been kind of hearing that a little bit. JJR's truck's gonna be paid off in December. Hope things go well maintenance wise. One thing I'm gonna suggest before you do, first of all, with the price of what trucks are, don't look at pedigree truck sales and say, "Oh, I have a 21 or 22. Here's how much my shit's gonna be worth." Don't look at it like that. You ain't unless you find a specific buyer, you're not getting. I don't even think they're selling them for that much money, so you ain't getting that money. But if you look at what the real market value is, and then say, I'm going to go ahead and buy an extended warranty on it, that extended warranty is damn near going to be about a third the value of what the truck is. And to me, it wasn't worth the gamble. Even if my truck just blew up right now, it wouldn't have been worth the extending that warranty out any longer. So I would just say, before you actually, get into that area where the warranties coming due, is just get it to a factory dealership and have them take a good look at it. And as far as paying off your trucks go, anybody that has a lease purchase at Prime, it cost me $11 in Colorado to transfer my title. But what they did ask for is they asked me to bring in a scale ticket. So I had to go get it scaled out. And then they asked me to bring in a VIN verification, which I did at the Peterbilt dealership. So you need those two things, a copy of your lease agreement, and then you take that down to the DMV. And I don't know what the reasoning was for the lease agreement, but I think it was just because that breaks down the terms of the sale, so you don't get charged for the full price of the truck or something, maybe. I don't think the extended warranty was 20 grand, but I think the extended warranty was like 10,000. So maybe it's not a real third of the value of the truck, but it's still not worth it at that. I mean, I'd rather take a gamble at that point once you're putting out that kind of money. Personally, not saying it's the right thing. Well, 10,000's got to listen. 10,000 hurts either way, right? Let's say you go spend $10,000 on it and you never use it, then you'd be pissed off that you spent 10 grand that you didn't use, and then just paying the 10 grand is a lot. So I just figured, with what these trucks are going for parts wise, you know, it's a gamble I'd just be willing to take. All right, it's a bummer that you're going through it, but don't stop what you do. You and a few others give me the motivation to move forward. I've been out here over a week to deal with. All right, I've been out for over a week dealing with family. Yeah, that's the one. That is the one thing that I was able to do that I wasn't. I didn't think I was going to be here that long, right? So I didn't even contemplate getting my taxes. My taxes aren't done, but they're at least organized enough to where I can almost take those in and get done. So I've at least had a chance to do that. It hasn't been a relaxing time off, I guess, because I'm sitting here, the clock is ticking, on them payments. So I haven't been able to really just chill out. But, I was talking to somebody the other day and it's like, I wouldn't go as so far as to be saying nobody's rich or anything like that, but there are a lot of people that are in this position that may not be able to weather it through. And the only stress that I'm feeling now is there's just some money sitting aside that I never really wanted to mess with, that if things got to a certain point, I might have to bring that money to bear on this situation. But it's not that damn stressful. I mean, it is, but it isn't, if that makes sense. I don't know how much the extended warranty was. Some other people that are in here, I don't know if Tammy's still in here. I think she might have thought about getting the warranty or got it, but I didn't even get deep into it. Yeah, JJR, I got to get my taxes in by October 15th. So I was kind of worried about that because I'm trying to play catch up, and it's like I almost feel like I don't have time to stop and do the things I need to do because my wife's going to Mexico in October, and I need to be here while she's gone because somebody got to take care of them dogs, and it's not no damn stranger, so I got to be here for that. And I was worried about being able to get my taxes done, so at least this knocks that out. Dale, there is nothing wrong with being a company driver. Like, anybody that's been watching me for a long time realizes the only reason that I didn't go company was the time off wasn't as flexible. The time off that they spoke about. Now, I hear people say they do get more flexible time off, but the time off that they were talking about just wasn't going to fit. Now, in reality, it'd be more time off than I've been able to take in this last year with the way this shit's been shaping up. But that's the main reason. Because look at all the shit that you get going company. I mean, think about it. I mean, you could just drive all over the country looking to run over nails and, looking to like, like there's nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what? You ain't even thinking about it. And the 401k match, I'm not exactly sure what Prime's 401k match is, but that's free money right there that you aren't getting. So there's benefits to going company. Like I said, a little bit more consistency. And I think, I don't really engage too much in these Prime Facebook pages, but you have all these people, you know, that been driving with Prime for less than a year, and they're out here talking about all the money they're making, and I'm just like, just wait. Just wait until you gotta get 6 new tires. Just wait when you gotta, even a small thing. Well, just wait till you gotta get that engine oil done. Oh, and or something unexpected comes up, which kind of melds into your home time or something like that. So, like I said, there's benefits to doing it both ways, but I think a lot of the people that are promoting how great the lease is haven't been in a lease long enough to understand the downside of that lease. So I did get to go out and get my sushi the other day, so that was good. So if you happen to be company at Prime and you're contemplating going lease, you can always go lease. You don't have to, you can pull the trigger whenever you want, but there's just stuff that you're going to do. Even the driver's going to hit some shit. You know what I mean? New drivers, you may get lucky, you may not, whatever. You're going to do stupid shit. That's just what new drivers do, including me and anybody else. But just little things that you don't think are going to cost money are going to cost money. If they don't cost money, they cost time, which I guess would cost in the company side as well. I'm not exactly 100% sure on how the normal breakdown pay works with normal company drivers. But I do know with lease drivers, you ain't getting none of that. I mean, for a week. And with the lease purchase, you ain't getting none of that at all. So anyway, where's everybody at? Just drop that in the comments. And if you happen to be at a truck stop, what truck stop you're at? Oh, and one of the bad things about going to Georgia and picking up this truck is I'm not going to be able to bring as much stuff as I want to bring. So I'm going to have to get out to Georgia. Then, within the next 7 to 10 days, get back out to Denver just so I can pick up my shit. Now I'm sitting here worried about my truck that's over in Peterbilt in Denver right now because fuck. I think I had a bag of apples that were sitting in there, and man, anyway, that could be an issue later. I'm not gonna worry about Yakima, Washington at the Peterbilt shop getting my water pump fixed. All right, not a huge fan of that Washington area. Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll tell you a funny story, Dale. So they got that railroad truck stop casino out in Nevada. It's in Henderson, right next to Las Vegas. So, nice truck stop. They got a casino next to it, but then they got like this smaller place, like where mainly truckers would be going in or whatever. They got some awesome Wagyu like cheesesteaks up there, but that's not my point. So I used to have this driver that used to drive with me, and he wasn't going to be at Prime much longer than his year, but he didn't feel comfortable driving for himself. So we kind of teamed for a while. And man, when you're teaming with somebody, it starts to grate on you after a while. And there's a difference between teaming with a student than training with somebody that is trying to be equal, I guess, to you, where they think that their opinions matter all that much. But anyway, it'll start grinding on you. And I got a load. I forget where it was coming from, but I was like, I know he lives in Henderson. We're gonna bust ass and get out to Henderson. We should get out there like 2 days early. He should be able to get off the truck, give me some peace and quiet, and go home. Man, don't tell me I didn't bust my ass to get out to Henderson, Nevada, and then him not want to get off the truck and go home because it's gonna take him just as long to get the house cooled down or whatever. I was pissed off about that. But the truck stop was nice. All right. I'm a trucker. Wait, I am in Trucker Coach TV's hometown, Paducah, Kentucky. Paducah, Kentucky. I actually kind of like that area. I'm not sure if I could live there, but I do think that's a beautiful area. All right, I've been company. Okay, wait. I'm company been 1 year now. Just gave me a brand new truck, and I'm running like a mad man. I'm assuming. Don't get me wrong. I'm still taking care of it, but I'm not financially threatened. There you go, right there. That's worth some money right there. That is worth some money right there. York, Pennsylvania, picking up a load that goes to Monroe Township, New Jersey. Not a fan of Monroe Township, New Jersey myself, or any place in New Jersey. Like if I get a load going to New Jersey, I'm gonna be looking. I'm gonna be looking at the place first. Like Monroe Township isn't that bad, but I forget the name of the place where I went where there was like no parking anywhere, and there was just like a main street right out there, and there was like maybe 4 docks, and they had like literally like 10 trucks pulled into this place, and we're kind of doing like a Jenga thing to get in and out of this place. What's up, Richie Rich? Let's see. He's wondering if I had a truck that was abandoned. No, that's not what happened. So I have a driver that was thinking about, or she was going to be leaving, right? And she was going to be leaving around the 18th or so. We were going to meet back in Springfield, and she was going to get out of the truck then. Well, the truck derated out there in Georgia, so we weren't exactly sure what happened. So she stayed out there a couple days, maybe over the weekend or something, and we realized it was going to take longer than just a couple days. So since she was leaving anyway, it was just like, you know what, why don't you just go ahead and well, I was actually going to pay for a couple more days in the hotel, but she's like, hey, if I plan on leaving anyway, it'd probably be better for me to just go home now to save you money on all this stuff. And I was like, you know what, that was going to be my next step anyway. And in hindsight, that was an excellent move to do. So that's what happened. So she didn't abandon the truck. She's just not there to drive the truck. Peruvian trucker, I'm not trying to be here right now, to be honest with you. I mean, I like being here, but I can't truly relax right now. Dale's talking about the heat in Las Vegas, 120 degrees. One of my favorite places to stop is Baker, California, which is like once you drive through Vegas, you're going to head west towards California. And then the next major place where they have truck stops is Baker, California. That place gets hot. And the only reason I like it is there's a Jimmy John's there that has like some Philly cheesesteaks, and those are like awesome. Plus, there's always parking, all that kind of stuff, and it gets me past that scale. So just one less thing to worry about when I start my drive. Which is another thing. So any new people out there, just getting into trucking. So, let's say you got a Walmart load, you can only be there an hour early. You have to gauge if you got a scale that you're going to hit along that route. So normally, if I'm going to be delivering to a Walmart, it doesn't work out all the time. I'm going to probably try to pass up that scale if there's going to be parking after that I can get to, rather than have to deal with that scale on my way into the Walmart, if that makes sense. So anyway, Rich, I'm just debating right now if I need to go to Georgia like Friday. It's going to cost more money between now and Monday, or between now and Sunday. Should I get there and pay double the price, but maybe make up for it getting a load, or just get there on Monday, Tuesday? That's kind of the thing I'm going through. And if I got there on Friday, is there going to be even a load that's going to, it's just a lot to think about. Just a lot to think about. But I haven't heard from you in a while, Rich. Why don't you throw up a video? Yeah, as far as abandoning the trucks and everything like that, getting back to Rich's things, you never know what people are going to do. But I had plenty of heads up on what was going on with that truck. So, I would never, ever get upset with anybody for making a move that they thought was better for them. You know what I mean? So, and actually, I just got text from her the other day, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna still be calling you for things that I need," because I used to give her a call or a text whenever I think of something that maybe drivers wouldn't think about. Like, "Hey, you know what? If you're ever at a place and you're trying to pull your fifth wheel and it's like doesn't pull easily, here's what to do. Or if you get a trailer that's like stopping, here's what you do." If just random things that I would think about throughout the day, I'd call her and just drop a few gems on her. Just Peruvian trucker, I can't read this thing without shutting down this live. So driving in bad weather, just little things like, if you're going to be driving into the Northeast, once you make it past that scale, slide your tandems to the front, just in case if you're going through some of these little small ass towns, you don't have to worry about your tandems being to the rear. If you're driving in bad weather, maybe, if you're going through Wyoming and you don't have to worry about any scales, move them wheels back to the, maybe not all the way back, but a little bit further back, so you don't have to worry about that fulcrum. You don't have to worry about the just little shit like that. Or if I think a tornado is going to come and it might be imminent, maybe you should drop the trailer and then pull out in front of it so you don't get blown over. The trailer might get blown over, but you probably won't. Just little shit. There's a lot of those things. Anyway, I digress, as they say. What's up, Sergio? Peruvian trucker, I can't look at that damn. Let me just see if I can look at it without shutting this text down. Nope, it's going to shut it down as soon as I do it. So I guess I'll have to get with that later. But speaking about Pennsylvania, O'Brien's son says he's out in York, Pennsylvania. That actually became one of my favorite places to drive through or pick up at, deliver at, stuff like that. Not Pittsburgh, but which is odd because that was the state, West Virginia and Pennsylvania, those were the states that almost broke me back in the days. I wasn't sure I was going to make it through training, to be honest with you. So hey, since everybody's here listening, let's see something. Alexa, is Hirschbach buying Prime Inc.?
There is no proof that Hearst is acquiring Prime Inc. Despite the fact that neither company has made any official announcement about the acquisition, Prime Incorporated's representative denied the claim. I try to be cautious with speculation until official information is made available by the involved parties. By the way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
No. Did you hear that? Even Alexa's. That's crazy. I didn't think it was going to say all that. All right, shoot. Well, it looks like everybody's driving and not typing, so it might be a good time for me to say au revoir. And you put in the chat if you heard what Lex or whatever that is had to say about Prime Inc. and Hirschbach. That was crazy.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Before that. Oh, one thing, Peruvian trucker. Hey, you don't get to see what them payments are until that truck comes in. I heard them payments on them lease purchases is going to be a tad bit more expensive than they were before. All right, well, it looks like that's going to conclude our day. I'm going to get to these messages that just came in. Peruvian trucker, I'll go ahead and check your message. But, hey, I do appreciate you stopping by on this little pop-in right here. I'll update you once I know what my plans are and kind of what, just things you got to deal with. And this could be if you have, and I hate calling it this shit, but it could be if you have a fleet or if you just have your own truck at a dealership. These are things that you could be dealing with. More so for the new people that don't understand that these are things you got to deal with. Anyway, I'll check you guys out later. I'm out. Thought I was out.